Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav and today we are going to learn about TestCafe Actions. So actions are all the things that we can do on our browser with our elements. For example, we can do click actions, typing a text on an element on a text box. We can do double click, right click. We can hover over the elements, drag and drop, scroll to element, alert or pop up, wait, and then taking a screenshot. So in this session we are going to go very basic, step by step. We will learn all these actions, and these are not all the actions, there are many other actions as well. For example, uploading a file on the browser, selecting from a drop down, navigating back and forward on the browser, and then resizing the browser window and adding assertions. We will learn all that as well in the coming sessions, but for this session we will learn these 10 basic actions, and this is going to be very easy and very interesting. Do not worry if you have never worked with any of such actions before. I will start from scratch and we will go up step by step. So let's get started. Let us first try the click action, which is a very basic action. Now in the last session when we started with TestCafe and we created a very basic search test on a Google search browser, Google search application, we there also used the type text and click action. So today we will create a new test. I'm going to my VS Code. You can open your VS Code or whatever IDE you have used in the last session to start TestCafe. And then here, this is the project we created in the last session. This is our project folder, TestCafe demo. And then we created this tests folder, and then we created this file, test1.js. And here is our test that we created in the earlier session. So I'm going here on my tests folder and I will create a new file. I will go here, new file, and I will call this as actions.demo.test.js. You can call it anything, and it is created. And now here I will start creating my test. So let us first start by a fixture. So here I will say fixture, and I'll give some name, actions demo tests, and then I will say dot page, and then I will give the URL of the application that we will use in our demo. So here I'm going to use this this website, try testing this.netlify.app. So you can see here we have this application where we have a lot of elements and actions we can do. Here is a alert button, then we have some text boxes, we have radio buttons, we have the drop downs here, we also have this image here, we have the double click here, then you can see check boxes here, we also have this drag and drop, we have a login section here, upload file, selecting a date, and text area, submit button. So many things are here. So let us try this. I will copy the URL and give it here. Okay, so I created this fixture, and I can move this dot page to the next line for easy readability, and I can also do a right click and say format document. Now next is I will create a test. So for that I will say test, and then I will give some name. I will say TestCafe Actions, and then I will say async, and then I will say I will give a variable, let's say t, and a arrow symbol and a curly bracket, start and stop. Now here we will start creating our test scripts or test steps. So here the first thing is we will try a click action. So we have to use await t.click. So I can say await t.click, click, and then in the bracket I will have to give the selector or the locator of the element that I want to click. So let us see, let us say I want to click on this contact link or button here. So if I do a right click here and go to inspect, you can see here we have got the locators, or this is the DOM where we can see the properties of this particular button or link. So this is a link, you can see this is href, and we have a class, and the class is same for the other link as well. We don't have a very unique property like ID or name or something. So what I will do is I will do a right click here, this is highlighted, you can see this is highlighted. I will do a right click here and I will say copy, and then I will say copy selector. We have options to copy element, copy outer HTML, copy selector, copy JS path, copy styles, copy X path, copy full X path. So I will take the selector, and then I will go back to my script, and here I will just paste the copied selector within quotes. Okay, and then I also want to wait and see, so I will use the wait command or the wait action t.wait. I believe we have already seen wait in our last session as well. Okay, and let's say after waiting I want to, let's say it goes here to the contact, and after waiting for 2 seconds I again want to click on this home link. So I will again do a right click and say inspect, and I will take the selector, and I will say here await t.click, and I will copy the selector of the home link here. Okay, and we can chain these actions. Instead of using await t every time, I can use await t once, and then I can just use .click, .wait, .click, and I can also do a right click and format document. So this looks very easy and much more readable now. So let us now try this out. So for running this, I will go to my terminal. This terminal is already open. If you want, you can go to the terminal menu here and say new terminal, or press Ctrl and backtick key. Backtick key is the key at the top left of your keyboard just below the escape key, and you will see this terminal. So here I will say TestCafe, and the browser name Chrome, and then the file name which is under tests folder actions.demo.test.js, and I have just pressed tab key to autocomplete these names, and I will hit enter, and let's wait. Whenever you start the project for the first time, it takes some time, but from the second run onwards it is much faster. So I believe it is starting now. It opens the browser connecting TestCafe and goes to the application, and yes, it clicks the contact link, then home link, and then closes, and you can see all this is pass. Let me also add the wait after this as well. Okay, so this was the click action. Then the type text action, which is .typeText, and I can say I will also add these comments. This is click. To add a comment, you can just press the double / on your keyboard, or if you say control, if you press control and /, also this starts a comment. So the next thing is type text, and for that we will say .typeText, and here we have to give two values here, or two parameters. The first one here will be the locator or the selector of the element. That may be a text box or wherever you want to type the text, and this is the actual text you want to type. So here let us say I want to type something on this particular text box, which is first name. So I will do a right click and say inspect, and you can see here we have got the properties. So we have got the ID, which is f name. We have got a direct ID, so we can use this. So I will say hash. For ID we use hash, for class we use dot. So hash and the ID name, and then whatever, let's say I want to type my name Raghav, so I will save, and after typing I will also wait for 2 seconds. I will go back to the terminal. I am pressing up arrow to go to the last command and press enter. So it is faster now. It has started. Goes to the contact link, back to the home link, and then it types Raghav here and then closes it. So this is all working fine. The next action is double click. So we just say t.doubleClick and give the selector of the element. So let me see if we have something here. We have this double click button here, although it does not do anything, but let us just try this double click here. So I will do a right click and say inspect, and let me see, this is double click. Again I don't see a very unique property here, so I will do a right click and copy the selector value, and then I will say here double click t dot double click and the selector, and then I will also wait for 2 seconds. Let me decrease the wait times here, or let me just comment out the waits here. I can also just click on the line and press Ctrl// to comment that particular statement. So I will start it again. So it starts TestCafe, and yes, you can see it double clicked here, which was very fast, and it is all pass. Then the next action is right click. So I can do a right click on any element, and let us see if I can do right click somewhere. We don't have a direct right click option, but I can just go to any element and do a right click. Let us say I want to do a right click on this first name text box. Yeah, so let me just try this. This is right click. Now I will also keep all these notes and all the code I'm creating here in the comment section or in the description section of this video, so you can also refer from there. So I'll say dot right click, and here I have to use the ID or the selector. So here I will say hash f name, which is the ID for the first name text box, and I will also add the wait time. I will save and run the test. So it starts the application. It did the double click, and it has come now here and did the right click as well, and then it is pass. Now here we did not had any inbuilt menu for right click. It is the browser options which are shown here. It is not the application specific right click, but sometimes if you have a application specific right click window or a right click pop-up, then you can also check if you get that pop-up, and then you can check the presence of some particular text or options there as well. So here I can say, after doing right click, I can say something like this: expect. Now we use this for assertion. We will learn more. This is more detail when we learn about assertions, but here we are saying that expect selector, and we can give the selector of whatever pop-up menu comes up and we say it exists, and then we say not okay. So in this case, because we are not expecting any application specific right click menu, we can say this. Let us try to run this, save and run this, and let us see if this passes. No, this one has failed. So if I say here, and I believe this is right, it should anyways fail because we are not expecting this particular menu. So for now I should comment this out, but yeah, for future you can remember that if you have a application specific right click pop-up and options, you can also use this expect assertion to check this. Okay, then we have the hover action, which is t.hover or .hover, and you can see here there was some you can see here, if I hover over here, it says this is your sample tooltip. So let me take the selector from here. This is the tooltip, and again I will have to do a right click here and copy the selector option, selector value, and then I will say here I can also say / star / for comments, and this is hover. So dot hover, and then the selector where you want to hover. Okay, let me just use this star / star and star / for the topics, action topics, so it can be easy to read and you will know these are the topic names, and the normal double / we will use for any other line that we want to comment out. Alright, I hope this is fine now. Okay, and I will also add the wait here. So save and run. So it starts the application, and yes, you can see it has hovered over that particular area or that particular element, and everything is passed. Okay, then we have drag and drop. So you can say drag to element and then give the locators for the element that you want to drag and the locator of the element where you want to drop it. So if you see our application here, we have a drag and drop option. So let me show you here. Here in this application there is an option, you can drag this pizza into this pizza box. So I can do something like this. So for that I will say, so this is drag and drop, and for this I will say drag. Now we also have the drag action, but drag to element we can use, we just have to use the locators of the two elements. So here is what we want to drag the first one here. So for that I will go here and do a right click on this pizza and say inspect, and let us see if we have got, yes, we have got the ID directly. So I will copy the ID value, which is drag1, and I will paste it here, and because this is ID I will use hash, and the element we want to drop, which is this pizza box. So I will do a right click and say inspect, and here again we have got a direct ID which is div1. I will copy this and say here hash div1, and then I will add the weights. Let me comment out the earlier wait statements so it is faster until here. Okay, so I will save and now run the test. So it is connecting to TestCafe, and yes, you can see it has dragged and dropped the pizza to the pizza box. So you can see how easy and straightforward it was with TestCafe. Now the next one is scroll to element. So you can use scroll into view and then give the locator of that particular element that you want to scroll to. So here next is scroll to element, and here I will say dot scroll. So we have scroll where you can give the offsets, the position, the pixels, but here we have scroll into view where you can directly just give the locator of the element that you want to scroll to. So let's say on my application I want to go all the way bottom to this here link and scroll until here. So I will do a right click, inspect, and let us see, do we have any property here? We don't have, so I will do a right click here and say copy and say copy selector, and I'll just give the selector value here, and after that I also want to wait for 2 seconds. So I will save and run the test now. So it opens the browser, connects to TestCafe, and let's see. And yes, you can see it has scrolled all the way down and this is all pass. Okay, next we have alert or pop-up. Now here whenever you are dealing with or handling any alert or pop-up window, the first thing you will have to do is, before clicking it, we have to set what exactly we want to do. For example, do we want to click on the yes or the OK button or the cancel or the no button? So we set the native dialog handler using this action, set native dialog handler. We can make it true, false, and then we click on the pop-up or the alert using its locator or selector. Okay, so let's see in our application we have got this your sample alert button, and here we say get OK or cancel. So this is what we will do. So first we will say, let me add the scripts here. This is handling alert or pop-up window, and here I will say await t.setNativeDialogHandler. So I'll directly say .setNativeDialogHandler, and here I will say true or false. So I will say here let us say I want to click on the OK or the yes button, so I will say true, and after that I will say .click and whatever is the locator of that particular button that brings up the alert or pop-up. So if I do a right click and say inspect, here again we don't have a clear property. I will do a right click, copy selector, and give it here, and of course I will add the wait for 2 seconds. Okay, and if you want, you can just comment out all these earlier actions for now, so that it does not wait. We do not have to see and wait for all these. So if you want, you can do this. I will comment this, all this. Later on I will uncomment and then I will add this in the notes. Alright, so I will save and run the test. So yes, it clicked on the alert button and you can see it is passed. That means it clicked on the alert, it checked the alert was there, and then it pressed on the OK button. Okay, so we can use alert or pop-up, we can handle like this. Then we have already seen the wait command, we have been using it a lot of times. We say .wait and the number we give here, this is in milliseconds. So 2000 milliseconds means 2 seconds. So this is in milliseconds, so it will wait for that particular time. Then we can also take a screenshot of our browser page by using .takeScreenshot. So I can say here, this is screenshot. So I will say .take screenshot. We can also take an element screenshot by using the locator of that particular element, and if you want screenshot of a complete screen, we can say take screenshot, and then we give the location of the file, the name and the location of the file. So if I just give the name, I will say screenshot1.png. it will go in our project folder. So let us check this. I will save and run the test. So it opens the browser connecting to TestCafe and it clicked on the alert button, and now you can see everything is passed. Also, if you see the terminal, it say screenshots, it gives us the location where the screenshot is saved, and if you want you can check, we have got this screenshots folder and we have got this screenshot added. So this screenshot is added here. Okay, so these are the basic 10 actions. In the coming session we will see more actions and we will learn more about TestCafe. I hope this was very interesting. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching and never stop learning.